Hi everyone, welcome back to Raw Inspired Living. As you may gather by my reindeer ears, we're going to do something Christmassy today. I thought I'd jump in here and we're going to make some raw Christmas pudding balls. Now I have to be honest with you, I love Christmas. It's one of my favourite times of the year and I used to love cooking lots of traditional things for Christmas. I would make mince pies, I would make shortbread, the Christmas pudding, all of those things. But since I've been much more focused on my wellness and I've realised how much better my body is and how much better my health is by not eating all of that processed sugar, because sugar honestly is one of the worst things for our health. I've come up with different ways, and I had to come up with different recipes of still ways that I can enjoy the flavours of Christmas, but in ways that actually support my health and help my body be the best that it can be. So these raw pudding balls are going to be on your repertoire, I promise. They are delicious and you can serve them on your Christmas table. They'll look amazing when we finish them. And even the people who love Christmas pudding will still think these balls are delicious. So let's first go over the ingredients. Okay, so here are our gorgeous ingredients. I mean, dried fruit, as we've talked about before, it just satisfies that sweet craving, but it's all in its natural form, just how nature intended it and just how your body really can use it easily. So we've got sultanas or raisins, if that's what you like. You can pick whatever one you've got. We've got medjool dates, we've got some dried apricots and some dried figs. Just remember, the dried apricots will look black. Don't get the orange ones because they've got lots of chemicals in them that you don't need. We've got some almond flour, some walnuts, and in this we have got all our beautiful Christmas spices. We've got a little pinch of salt, we've got some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and some allspice. It's going to be delicious. And here we have the zest of an orange and 1 tablespoon of orange juice. And that's it. We're literally going to make balls out of that, and then I will show you how to do the little topping that just makes them so extra cute. Okay, so honestly this recipe couldn't be simpler. We're going to first process our nuts. I'm using the Thermomix, but you can use a food processor. So I'm going to pop the nuts in with the almond flour just to process those two together. So that's the first thing that we do, because you don't really want big chunks of nuts in them. You really want them to be, you know, blended nicely. Doesn't take long in the Thermomix. It's pretty quick. All right, so we've got this beautiful floury mixture. So you can see that lovely mixture. Now we're just going to add everything else. We're going to add all our fruit. I would probably give that a bit of a stir around. I'll just grab a spatula. Just to make sure that you don't have all the nuts on the bottom of it and they're not all stuck and you're not mixing them in with everything else. So I just give it a stir around. And then our dates go in, our figs. You can chop those if you want. I mean, you can, but the Thermomix you don't really need to. All of our spices, make sure all of that gets into the mixture. Oh, it smells amazing. Oh, all of those spices together. And just our orange zest and juice. In that all goes, and we're just going to process that up until it's a nice mixture, the ball consistency. You might have to go around the sides a few times, like I'm going to have to do, just to make sure that it all mixes in beautifully together. You don't want them to, I mean, it's okay to have a little bit of texture in them because, you know, pudding isn't just completely smooth. But you don't want any big bits of nuts. Oh my gosh, that smells amazing. All right, let's see what that looks like. Okay, and there is our pudding mixture. That's amazing, and really that's what you do. So that's how quick it is. It's a lot quicker than actually making a Christmas pudding. Clearly. So we're just going to roll those into balls now. So I'll show you how that is. And then we're going to set them in the freezer while we make our little topping that goes on them. Oh my gosh, these truly smell amazing. So you're literally just going to roll them around in your hands and you're going to make little pudding balls out of them. Just like that. How gorgeous is that? So you can make them as big or as small as you want. But the thing to remember with raw food, and especially when it's got a lot of fruit in it, a lot of dried fruit in it, is they're very sweet. You really don't need much of it to satisfy your sweet craving. So you don't want to make them too big because honestly, you probably wouldn't be able to eat more than one of those. It would be quite sweet. So I like to keep them the size of a bliss ball or, you know, a smallish bliss ball, because other than that, they are going to be too sweet for people to eat and they're not really going to like them. So, oh, you can smell the orange zest in here. It is phenomenal. And orange zest is so good for you. It's full of like just antioxidants, polyphenols, like it's got everything in it. So wherever you can put orange or lemon zest in your recipes, go right ahead, because it is so amazing for your health. Dried fruit, again, we've talked about dried fruit being able to satisfy that sweet craving, but still having all of the beautiful nutrients the way nature intended. You've got walnuts. Walnuts are super high in omega-6. Sorry, omega-3. I'm like, no, that's not right. They're super high in omega-3, and omega-3 is really what we need for our health. We need a lot of omega-3, and we get too much omega-6 in our diets generally. So you want to balance that out with omega-3s, and walnuts have omega-3s in them. They're a great source of omega-3, so put walnuts in your diet wherever you can as well. All right, I'm just going to finish those off, and then we'll see what those look like, and then we'll come back and do the icing. So here are our finished balls. It made 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, about 13 balls, 13 small balls. As I said, they're very rich, so especially once the cashew icing goes onto them. So I'm going to pop them in the freezer while I make the cashew icing, and then we'll come back and we'll finish them off. Okay, so here's our ingredients. So I've got 1/4 cup of cashews, which have been soaking for that same length of time, a couple of hours. I've got 1 teaspoon of lemon juice just for some brightness. And I've got 1 tablespoon of maple syrup and 1 tablespoon of coconut butter. So it's not coconut oil, it's different. It's actually just blended coconut. So it is important, the difference. And then I've just got some cranberries. So I'm going to put some cranberries on the top of mine, but you can put anything. You can put pistachio nuts or, you know, anything you really want on the top of them. But I think the tartness of the cranberries will go nice with the sweetness of the pudding balls. So let's blend that up. I'm just going to do this in my NutriBullet, so I'm just going to throw everything in and we're going to see how we go. And the lemon juice, obviously you don't put the cranberries in because they're for decorating. And just popping the maple syrup and the coconut butter in. And we'll just see how this goes in the NutriBullet. So we're just wanting to blend it until it's creamy. Okay, I left a couple of ingredients out of the recipe, so it's obviously going to be a bit better now once I get my blender open. And there's our beautiful creamy mixture that we wanted, which is lovely, and it's pretty easy to do now. So what we're going to do is, I think you can just drizzle it over the balls. Like, it's totally up to you. You could put that in the fridge and make that like an icing. I'm just going to see what happens if I drizzle it over the balls. Okay, I'm just going to see what happens. I quite like that look. Just a little drizzle over the ball, and then I would just put a little cranberry on top of that. And then you could pop that back in the freezer. So I'm going to do all those balls, and then we'll come back and I can show you what the finished product looks like. And here they are. Look at these gorgeous little pudding balls. I mean, how cute are they? I know that your guests will love these. Once that icing hardens up a bit in the freezer, you can serve these for your Christmas desserts, and honestly, they will be such a hit, I promise you. So try the recipe and let me know what you think. Have a great day.